morning, everybody. Keith Engle here for TGI Sports Talk Sunday Stream of Consciousness. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully, we're not getting a big echo or anything on this broadcast this morning. Anybody pops in, hopefully they can let us know what the quality is. Some of you may realize we had some problems on the McGrath Sunday Sports Roundtable this morning, and we had to abort. So hopefully we aren't going to have the same problems here. But I want to welcome everybody on the McGrath Podcast Network, everybody watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the groups that allow us to share. You see some of our favorites at the bottom of the screen all the time, but there's dozens and dozens of others that support this show and promote the, 50,000 views that we get a month now. Thank you so much. We'll call out, as I like to do when I'm by myself, John Gonzalez from the Sports Authorities. Best group, best admin out there, by the way. Greg Rawlings, a close second over at America's Pastime, Love for Baseball. Flo and Can at the Bottom Line, at Bottom Line Sports. They do a really fine podcast themselves with Christopher Stewart as well. Let's Talk Sports. Our good friend, the late Dan Harris, the late great Dan Harris, kicked that off, and Tanner did his best to keep it going, and we're still sharing and be getting viewed by their audience. Who else? Ken Krause at Golf Bud Sports of all sorts. And a quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph does some great stuff out of Ocean City, Maryland. Pittsburgh focused, national footprint, specifically the Sports Corner from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. I've been a guest there many times and always love it. So let me know, guys, if we have any issues this morning with audio. I don't think we will with one person. We think this morning the StreamYard problem was when there was more than 2 people in the studio, and that's why we had to abort the McGrath Sunday morning roundtable. So my apologies, and I know Brian apologizes for that as well. So sometimes things happen. Hello, Jeremy. How are you today? Good to have you with us and out in Detroit. Rick Sherlock, good morning. Amsterdam, New York. In the house. Listen, we got some stuff to talk about today. The Hall of Fame inductions in baseball in Cooperstown today, just an hour, 15 minutes away from here. Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, and Jeff Kent go in as players, and Bill White. Bill White will get the Buck O'Neil Award for Lifetime Achievement. Bill White did pretty much everything in baseball. He was a fine player. Broadcaster for the Yankees, National League president, among other things. Bill White, classy individual. Read his autobiography, by the way. Just a very classy individual. We're happy for him. Salvatore Perez passes George Brett with 318 home runs. All-time leader for the Royals. Fine catcher for a long time. Hall of Fame worthy, guys. This guy's got 4 or 5 gold gloves. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, I think. We can get your opinions on that if you like. Kind of a slow build up to the trade deadline, which I believe is the 2nd of August. Maybe it's the 3rd of August. But it's a little more than a week away. I think it's the 3rd because it's on a Monday. Yeah, it wouldn't be on a Sunday. So the 3rd of August, we can talk about, who might get moved and who might not. I mean, we might not be seeing nothing but a bunch of relief pitchers traded, which we often see. Teams think they're contenders and nobody's going to sell. We'll see what happens there. LeBron James is now a 76er. No surprise. And by the way, I've heard people, I've seen people on social media ripping LeBron, chasing championships. This team hasn't won in 40 years, guys. How's he chasing a championship? And by the way, also, clip this, by the way. Just to give you an idea of this, the condition of sports today. LeBron's making $3.8 million this coming year. There are 18 kids playing college basketball that will make more. So he's playing for $3 million. He could have gone somewhere else and gotten a lot more. Wants to win. Give him some credit. The NFL, we could talk about Kyle Shanahan's accident. Why didn't we know about this for, nearly 2 weeks, 10 days? That seems a little odd to me. How's this news not get out for 10 days? And the Post, by the way, stop with the hyperbole. Your headline was horrific. Kyle Shanahan suffers horrific injuries. I mean, they're not great. He broke his nose, he broke some ribs, but it's not like, he lost 3 limbs. What else? Aaron Darnold, is he going to come back for the Rams? That's big news. Apavia is released by the Ravens. Not a surprise here, guys. Does anybody here think he can play in the NFL? Because I don't. If this is a kid with CFL written all over him, he should just go up there. Tony Romo, arrested for a DWI the other night after playing golf in Wisconsin. And I've seen some weird posts here as well about this situation. Like, let's see how this is handled. What does that mean? I don't see any cover up here. What does that mean? In comparison to what else was handled? I got to tell you, I need to get off social media. I really do. I got another note here. What the hell is that? I can't read it right now. We'll get to it. WNBA, the All-Star game was last night. Do we care? Does anybody care? The WNBA has to stop making news off the court. The Caitlin Clarks, the Angel Reeses, the racial tensions that don't need to be there, and the league seems to play up for whatever reason. In college football, the SEC and maybe the Big Ten are serious about moving or leaving the NCAA and breaking out onto their own. Good luck with that, by the way. Because outside of football, maybe basketball, how are you going to compete with these other sports? Forget, you guys are nuts. Steve Sarkisian talked about Arch Manning and the pressure that he was under last year. He says 99% of players would not have survived what Arch did, and Arch is better for it. We'll see how that works out. Now I got another note I can't read. It's into this as I kind of look back at my notes. We'll figure all this out. What else, ladies and gentlemen? And it's your show, guys, so we'll talk about anything you want. Who's with us here? Life is good for Jeremy. That's good. A lot of pressure up there in Detroit. No, this year, Jeremy? Again, I'm not one of those guys who think that the Lions' window is closed, but I will tell you, I think another collapse like last year, and there will be a big changes in Detroit. Hello, Brian. Good to have you with us. No echoes, I'm assuming. I haven't heard any comments on echoes. I know Brian had thought it was isolated to when we had more than 2 people in the studio. So I don't know what the deal was with StreamYard. And I know Brian and James and Jack are upset, sad we couldn't bring you the show this morning. So our apologies for that. Chris, how are you, my friend? Up in the great country of Canada. Some of us think so. The Edmonton Elks, formerly the Eskimos, they're not the Eskimos anymore? Was that offensive? Come on, really? The league still has dynasty teams, so this is new and refreshing. The current winningest team did they really change their name to the Elks? And please tell me it wasn't because we offended the Eskimos. It's your country, but it's just, you can see you've got me speechless. I didn't know this. Now I got to check this out. Give me something to rant about today. By the way, we talked about Diego Pavia, and his rights are held in the CFL and have for a couple of years been held by Winnipeg, the Blue Bombers. So I think they're still the Blue Bombers, unless we were offending Bombers. So we'll see what's going on. Drinking on golf courses can be real heat score for COPD. What does that mean, Chris? What does that mean? Help me. Oh, for cops. I gotcha. Well, listen, drinking on the golf course is something that I have done in my lifetime. I don't do it anymore because I can't play well if I drink. And I dehydrate so fast. For those you don't know, I have RA, and my body will break down really quickly if I don't stay very hydrated. When I drink, when I'm out having drinks with friends, I'm drinking water and beer all the time. If I'm drinking. Don't drink that much anymore, really. I got a couple triggers, but Michelob Light, so I'll drink 10 of them and drive home. Well, Michelob is light, so I'll drink 10 of them and drive home. Well, you're still drunk on 2 Michelob Lights, by the way, legally. Well, at least here. Michael Gott in the great country of the United Kingdom. Good to have you with us. What do you guys go by, Michael? Is it the UK, or do we go by Britain, or do we go by England? I mean, if you were to tell me where you were from, would you say the UK? I feel like that's right. Romo must have been way over the limit to fail in Wisconsin. Well, there are federal, and I could be wrong, Rick. And I know you're kidding. But I believe and maybe I'm wrong. I do believe there's federal mandates that you need to lower when the blah 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 blah. When the limits were lowered, even here in New York State, I believe it was because of a federal mandate where if you did not lower your blood alcohol limit for being drunk driving, they would withhold federal funds. So I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that it doesn't mean you have to comply to it. But 0.04 right here in New York State for DUI, and 0.8 for DWI. I believe a lot of the states are the same. Look, I have my problems with Tony Romo as an announcer, but I mean, a lot of people make this mistake, and I don't know. Should he lose his job? I mean, I don't know. Is that what people want? Do they think he should lose his job because of this? I mean, anybody. Would you have lost your job if you got a DWI? Some people would have, depending on what they do. He's a football broadcaster. He's not working at Homeland Security. Good morning, Billy. Yeah, I'm a little under the weather. Every time I travel, airplanes are the freaking worst germ factory in the freaking world. We got home last Friday. I didn't get sick till Thursday. I'm on the mend. Believe it or not, I'm better. I mean, this morning, I haven't slept hardly since Thursday. And I got up this morning. Laying in bed this morning, I slept decent last night. About 5 hours solid, which is not bad. Didn't cough a lot all night. Woke up, got out of bed, and I started hacking and having to blow my nose, which we'll have to do again here in a minute. And I'll apologize now. But we're on the mend. As I've been up today and moving around, it kind of comes and goes, fits and starts, right? But we'll feel better. I'm here for you guys. Good morning, Danny. How can I stay in bed with a cold when Danny Fuller's getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch our shows? Brian's jumping around on his. Brian, we tasked with talking more NASCAR Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis today. Carson, I don't even know who Carson Hovacar is. Let me look up the NASCAR. Let's look. It's under more sports, I'm assuming, right? NASCAR. Let's see. Do they give me? So they don't give me. Let's see. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Oh, is that the name of the tour now? It's the Brickyard 400 today. That's a big race, right? That's Indianapolis, as Brian said there, dummy. Let's look at the standings. Do I even know anybody in here? Denny Hamlin's number 1. I know Denny Hamlin. Chase Elliott, I know. I don't even know any of these guys. Bubba Wallace, I know. Joey Logano, I know. So there's a lot of new names here, right? We talk a couple times about NASCAR hurting their brand with the way they play their series, right? And individual races like the Brickyard 400 seem to have lost some stature. But I'm wondering about some of the names as well that have. I mean, God, do we just not promote these guys, or what's the deal? I mean, I don't know any of these guys. I don't know 75% of these names. Now, guys who follow closer would. Just saw somebody else I thought I knew. Down at the bottom of this. Casey Mears, I know. Oh, Jimmy Johnson's there at 38. Interesting. I knew you were going to get this. I read this yesterday, and I expected Chris to bring up Dallas Keuchel today. Signs with the A's. I think he's signed with the A's before. He signed pretty much everywhere, by the way. He was a great pitcher at one point. Won a Cy Young. A good friend of mine, and I kid that you haven't had a full career if you haven't done a bit in Oakland. Thomas Piazza, Garcia Parra, on and on. Dallas Keuchel's a good friend of yours. I know you bring him up in the show a lot. Chris, again, just so everybody's aware of where Chris comes from with some of his posts. I haven't said this in a while. I challenged Chris. God, what was it, Chris? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 2 anyway. To be, just give me irreverent stuff. By the way, it doesn't play quite as well when I'm with Jack. Just so you know. That's why sometimes I don't put it up. Oh, you had a comment on Friday's show, Chris. I don't remember what it was, but do me a favor and put it up this morning at some point, because it is something I wanted to chat about. But Dallas Keuchel was a great pitcher. He's now had comeback attempts pretty much with like half the teams in the major leagues. He's in the minor leagues with Oakland, I believe, too. So he's not with the big club, the Sacramento club. But good luck to Dallas. He was a fine pitcher at one time. Great Britain is England, Scotland, and Wales. That's fair. Whereas the UK is the same, but includes Northern Ireland. Some people go national and say they're English or Scottish, Welsh, or Irish. I would think if somebody was from Ireland, they would say they're Irish, right? So I'm going to assume, I don't know what you say now. So what do you say you're from England? I got you. That's fair. So is it offensive? Is not the right word though. Am I giving a misnomer? Or would it be better if I introduced Michael from England rather than the UK? I want to give people their props. Denny Hamlin, points leader with Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney close behind. I see that. I don't know either one of those guys. Tyler Reddick, I think I've heard his name. There's a lot of new faces or new names since I last paid any attention to NASCAR. And I did promise that I will try to keep up on the sport a little bit if we're going to have a conversation about it. I know some people have asked. My friend here in our development, Tom Daubney. Tom, if you're there, Tom asked me about NASCAR, and I said, I don't really talk much about it because I don't know a lot about it, but doesn't mean I can't know about it. I don't know much about soccer, and I found a way to talk about it for a month. Hello, CA. Good to have you with us. Wherever you might be in the Southwest today or wherever. You're going to be under the heat dome this week. I think we're going to avoid that, hopefully. I nearly expired the last time I was under a heat dome. Played golf. It was the heat index was 110. It had to be 130 degrees on some of those greens. I'm 66 years old. Got to stop. Michael Goddard, are these the greatest song lyrics ever? Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Our nation turns its lonely eyes to you. I got to get you on to sing it now. I don't know if they're the greatest lyrics, Michael, but they're good. There's other lyrics with sports themes that are really good as well. Put Me in, Coach from John Fogerty. Even though I hate to promote the boss, he's got a pretty good baseball song as well. Like the NHL, racing is a young person's game. It's hard to keep track. You know, it's funny. When I was young, though, Chris, it was an older person's game. It was the older guys. You know, there was a men's club I belonged to since I was 18 in Amsterdam. And back then they had the guys who followed NASCAR. Again, they were older than me. They were in their 40s and 50s, maybe 60s. It wasn't the youngers, 20s, 30s, 40s that were watching it. Well, 20s and 30s. Those guys were older than me when I was 18. But now it seems to have moved around. My dad, you know, I watched a lot of NASCAR. I said this, I think, last week. I watched NASCAR with my dad. When we were with him on the weekends, my mom and dad were split up when I was young, and we watched. He was a NASCAR fan back in the days of Richard Petty and the Allisons and all of those. Oh, right. What is I need the rest of that information, though. What did you say that day? Give me the rest. Yeah, female UC. I think I remember, but I want you to give me the details again so I don't misspeak this. And Danny might have something to say about this. I don't know. I'd love to hear. Chris does. Chris comes up with, you know, I tasked him with coming up with irreverent stuff, and he never fails me. And as I said, on my shows, this one, and I apologize for not doing the MLB update on Friday, but I really took a turn for the worse Friday morning and Friday afternoon as far as not feeling well. But sometimes I don't put them up, Chris. Don't take offense on a Monday morning or Friday morning, because, you know, Jack is Jack. So I got it. If I go off topic, you know, or backwards, UK is fine. Cool. J.J. Watt takes the place of Forrest Gump's little brother, Romo. I don't get it. Maybe I don't get it. I got to drink my orange juice this morning as well, by the way. Oh. Pulp or no pulp? I got to tell you, I'm a high pulp person. I want as much pulp in my orange juice. We're really streaming the consciousness today. I want as much pulp in my orange juice as I can get. Everybody else who comes here, any of the kids come and visit or whatever, they're straining my orange juice to get all the pulp out of it. What a waste. I drink anything without pulp. It's like drinking an orange drink. My view on the summer league, I think it's a good place for some of these draftees to get their feet wet. Would I pay money to go watch it? No, I think they do a pretty good job of promoting it now. They're on TV. But I think it's a pretty good place for some of these kids to go get their feet wet. Kids that may have signed as free agents, young kids, not the older free agents, obviously. And some of the draftees go there and play for a few weeks at least. They don't normally spend an entire summer there. But I think they serve their place. There we go. So Chris had brought this up, and I didn't bring it up because I want to give Jack a stroke the other day. A female volleyball player at UCLA is making short videos in full team uniform that are promos for her OnlyFans page. How would I handle as a coach? That's something that, you know, a guy who's old school like me is shocked that we even have to address. Danny, do you have any more input on this, by the way? And UCLA volleyball, by the way, is very high profile. What else is she doing in these videos? Again, I don't know if you've seen, there's a show on Apple about, I can't remember, the Maggie Needs Money or something. I don't know if it's Maggie or not. Can't remember the name. But it's a young mother who needs money, and she starts doing these OnlyFans videos. And they're very suggestive, and I think some go further than that. I don't know anything about it. I don't plan to. As a coach, I think, Chris, I think I would have a problem with that. I would have to tell her that if you want to be part of this team, Because a lot of these schools, by the way, you have morals clauses or a code of ethics. And I would think that that might be in breach of it. And she'd probably sue the school. If the coach said you can't do this or you're going to have to leave the team, and she got removed from the team, I guarantee you we'd have a lawsuit because that's the world we live in today. We're very litigious. And, you know, we get offended and we sue, and you don't give me the right to do what I want to do. You sue. But I think schools and professional teams should have the right to say, here's your code of conduct. If you violate it, you're going to risk being removed from this team. So that's the way I would handle it. I wouldn't allow her to do it. Hello, Paul Spada. How are you? Paul, I'll get in that college football fantasy league soon. When you first sent me the link, I swear I registered, and now it's telling me I'm not registered, so I got to go through the whole process. I'll do it later today because I'm probably going to be a bump on the log for another 12 hours today. What a refreshing, great podcast this is. Refreshing. I've been described a lot of ways. Never refreshing, Paul. Thank you. We have a lot of fun. Sometimes we get a little cranky. I get a little cranky this morning. Hang on, guys. Don't go anywhere. There, I don't think you want to see me blow my nose. We haven't heard much about darts, CA. Have they been on hiatus? What's been the deal? PDC World Match all week on ESPN2. Women's 8 field today before the men's final between Gerwin Price and Luke Littler. See any relation to Gene Littler? Golfer just died, I think, recently. Won the U.S. Open when I was about 12. Got the Yahoo email to reactivate the Fantasy League. Are we going to continue? I am. I think you're going to need some... I don't know how many guys we have that are in it. Danny was in it, I think. Paul might have been in it. Rick. Michael was in it. If you guys all... Brian was in it. I did get an email, by the way. So I have rejoined the league myself. Let me just say things in the 80s compared to today is night and day. Well, 80s, 70s. You know, there was weird stuff going on, but doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe it's not as out there as I think, Danny. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't know about it. You know, I didn't know. I was not. I don't want to say I was. I guess I was naive when I was a kid. Because I didn't. I don't know. Hang on. Cat. Cat might have been having an issue. We got a 17-year-old cat hanging around here. I think I'm naive. Go back to the 80s. When Rock Hudson came out and said he had AIDS, I feel like I was shocked. And everybody I knew, my friends, my parents, all my grandparents, they were all like, how did you not know he was gay? Not that I cared, but I just was in shock. And I'm like I feel like I was the only one who didn't know Rock Hudson was gay. I said, how can Rock Hudson have AIDS? He's not gay. If the videos were damaging, yes, remove and reprimand her. I agree. Well, she's on OnlyFans, so I guess there's different levels. Again, I don't know that much about it other than what I've seen on this Apple TV show. And that's pretty raunchy, by the way. So I guess there's different levels of activity, if you will. Activity. So... Is there a lower level, Brian, that you'd say, okay, you can stay or not be reprimanded? Or is anything to do with OnlyFans enough to say you can't do this and be part of this team. There was some boxing last night. I pulled up the Little League. I thought Little League might be going. Oh, that's right, too. Jack had told me that Joshua was fighting and Fury was fighting. And I think that's the fight people want to see, right? We'll talk to Jack about this tomorrow morning for sure, if he's still talking to me. Joshua survives 2 knockdowns yesterday, and I'm sure Fury won as well. This is, I mean, again, the state of boxing is such that, you know, these guys are old, and they're going to be the best fight that we can get. Thank you, Danny. Danny says the podcast is refreshing without a doubt, and no ABS needed. I know I can beat some things to death, and I apologize for that. But, you know, when I feel strongly about something, I'm not going to let it go. Listen, I do want a couple things too, and does anybody else? And again, we got a bigger crowd right now than we had when I first went down this laundry list of stuff. The Hall of Fame is today. I think all 3 of these guys are deserving. By the way, I know a lot of people with Andrew Jones maybe thought not, but this guy was a dominating defensive player and an offensive force for a lot of his career till the end. I'm so happy about that. I'm happy for Bill White getting in with the Buck O'Neil Award. But I also talked about Salvatore Perez, who became the Royals' all-time home run leader the other day. You're going to look at his numbers, you're going to think, Hall of Fame worthy? I don't think so. You got to remember the position he plays. And he won 4 or 5 Gold Gloves. What else happened yesterday? Miami's lost 10 in a row. No talks about LeBron. Nobody's interested in LeBron going to 76ers. I know, Danny, you had posted something about whatever, going to another team, I guess. That's what GOAT spells. Do we think LeBron's making him? LeBron, by the way, you can think what you want of LeBron off the court. On the court, he's still one of the top 10 players or borderline top 10 player. Am I right or wrong? And he's not going there chasing he is going there chasing a title, but it's not like Durant going to Golden State where they were on the top of the heap. He's going to a Sixers team that hasn't won a title in 43 years. Confusion with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Tough guy Craig Berube gets fired, and all off-season they filled out their bottom 6 with grinder-type players. Speaking of Toronto Maple Leafs, Yasiel Puig is with the baseball club playing well, has incredibly matured. He's 36 now and staying out of trouble. I know we like to follow these guys, Chris. I don't see Yasiel Puig playing in the major leagues again. I can't believe, again, he's probably playing well in Toronto. By the way, speaking of baseball and minor league baseball, and I don't know, the Toronto Maple Leafs, are they, is it independent league, Chris, or is it, they're not affiliated with anybody, I don't believe, correct? And it might be independent Canadian baseball. I don't really know. You can help me there. But here in the States, we've got all these independent leagues in the Northwest, and the Southwest, and the Northeast. Amsterdam, or Tri-City Valley Cats, for instance, playing the Frontier League, which is a it's a independent league. I watched the last couple of days. I watched a documentary, Wally Backman, and it goes back a ways. I think it might be even 10 years old. This documentary. Wally Backman had taken over a team in South Georgia called Peanuts, and it's called Playing for Peanuts. I think it's Playing for Peanuts, but it was really kind of cool to see behind the scenes of this league. And Wally just is Wally. He just He ended up getting fired for being too controversial, then he got his job back. And very weird. The team did win the league championship, I believe, but it was kind of interesting. Go. More Canadian reporting here. John Schneider, who has been complaining to the media about his team, has a clear sign you've lost. Well, it is a clear sign. It's funny. It's not a crack at John losing the room happens. It does. And I think he's lost. We talked about this. Jack and I talked about this Friday a little bit. I think the World Series hangover is worse for the team that loses than the team that wins. And this has been, I would say, Toronto's most disappointing team in the league. I've never been a big John Schneider fan. Until this year, because they made it to the World Series last year, I had predicted for the 2 or 3 previous years that John Schneider would be the first manager fired. Now, part of that might have been because I wanted to see Donnie Baseball get the job. But I think John Schneider's probably a dead man walking. Somebody's got to get blamed, right? And that team's gotten old before their eyes. And they're not. They shouldn't fool themselves to think they're contenders right now. They should be looking to trade Gausman. They should be looking to trade, Springer, to somebody who might be able to use them for the next couple of months. But I think he's in trouble. Neil Bush, good morning. Good to have you with us this morning. Bill White's induction to Hall of Fame is long overdue. I agree. I said earlier in the show, Bill White has pretty much done everything he can do in baseball. He was a fine player in Philadelphia and St. Louis. Excellent defensive player. And he had a decent bat. He was an announcer for the Yankees for a long, long time. He was a National League president for a long, long time. He's had some other jobs within baseball as well. And he's been a great ambassador for the game, and Bill White's induction is long overdue, Neil. Thank you. And I think Perez, I don't know if it's consideration. I think he's in. Well, obviously he's got to wait till 5 years after he's retired. But I think he's in. I mean, given the position he plays and the fact that he played it defensively very well with some great power years, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I thought Fury did fight last night. But he's destined to fight Joshua. Earl Spence retired after losing to... Maybe that's the fight Jack was talking about Friday. I mean, Fury and Joshua. I mean, it says a lot about the state of boxing when the most anticipated fights, and I think Jack would agree with me. I don't want to put words in his mouth. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning. The most anticipated fights are between 2 old guys, Fury and Joshua. Joshua's lost a handful of fights as well. And maybe Merriweather and Pacquiao. I mean, they make 2 geezers at Caesars look like, Little League. LBJ can definitely help the Sixers, no doubt. He was only in the way as a Laker. No, I agree. 2 years from now, the Lakers will be a major player. We'll find out. And if they're not, heads will roll there. Look they obviously want to build a team around Luka. And I think LeBron did a fine job of taking a step back last year when Luka and Reeves were healthy. They made a great run at the end of the regular season before Luka got hurt and Reeves got hurt. And I think LeBron will carry that experience over to the 76ers and not have to be the main man. I think this is a smart move for LeBron. I really do. There, we're saving you guys that disgusting. Again, 76ers are going to be a major player now in the Eastern Conference. As a Knicks fan, I don't like this at all. I also find it very interesting. Rich Paul and I think it's probably a good thing, by the way, as a Knicks fan. But Rich Paul said if the Knicks had not won the World Championship this year, there wouldn't have been a list. There wouldn't have been a tour around the league. He would have signed with the Knicks. And I don't know how the Knicks could have said no. If he was going to come play for $3.8 million. Again, I said this earlier. $3.8 million he's playing for. There's 18 kids in college making more than $3.8 million next year. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the state of sports. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with the Red Sox there. Red Sox done a great job the last couple of weeks. Paul, getting themselves back into contention. In fact, at least as of yesterday, they still held the last wild card spot. Well, they're in the second wild card spot now, and only 6 behind the Yankees. Yankees had better not, go to sleep here. Bellinger seemed hopeful that his injury wasn't going to keep him out, but hamstrings are problematic. We can't afford to lose Corey Bellinger now with Stanton still out and Judge, who knows when he's coming back. I mean, the Yankees just cannot continue to play baseball this way. I mean, look at this weekend's, or these last 4 games. 5-3, they lose. 2-0, 1-0, 3-1, they win. You can't ask the pitchers to go out there and give up 1 run a game over and over and over. This is a recipe for disaster, man. He scored 8 runs against the Pirates 6 games ago. They haven't scored 8 runs in all the games since then. But they have won. They won 3 in a row. Red Sox, what they have, 15, team record, 15 wins in a row. It was either a team record or tied a team record. I mean, there's what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 teams within 5.5 games of wild card. I think it's going to be a quiet trade deadline. I really do. I don't know if you're going to see some of these big stars like Skubal and Brian Buxton and all these guys. I don't know if you're going to see them get traded because these teams are going to fool themselves into thinking they got a chance. The Twins, they really think they got a chance to win a series, much less advance in a World Series? You need to trade Joe Ryan. You need to trade Byron Buxton and build something for the future. You haven't won with those guys. They're fine players. Buxton can't stay healthy. No, we choose to take turns staying in Texas for a multitude of reasons, whether deep piney woods or smaller homestead, coastal and last metro properties, we're keeping efficiency. It's hot in Texas, man. John Schneider can't get through a sentence without an F-bomb every second word. You should. What show am I watching right now? Oh, we just watched Hawk. Will Ferrell's new show on Netflix, and I mean it's not great, but it's Will Ferrell at his lowest common denominator actually. But there's more F-bombs in that show than anything you can think of. And anybody who listen, saying the word is totally appropriate if you use it in the right context. If you can't get through a sentence because you need to fill in your vocabulary with that word, then that's a problem. But it's certainly, in my world, it's appropriate to use it in the right context and in moderation. Clifton, I wasn't invited. Clifton Park flag football is playing in the semifinals today. Semifinals of what? What is it? We talked about this a little bit too. We know flag football is going to be in the NFL Flag Championship. All-American Sports RFP Patriots head coach Jeff Jones did not hesitate when asked his team when playing at its best is capable of winning the NFL Flag Championships. Interesting. I think, Rick, that Rich, what was they own Mohawk Dairy. Richard and his son Rich. His son Rich played on a flag football team that I think went to Dallas and played in some kind of national championship. This is 30 years ago, probably. That's very interesting. They didn't ask me to play. Flag football is going to be in the Olympics. And I know when it first was announced, there was all this clamor that, Mahomes, the great players ought to go play. Well, they can't. If you remember, a month or 2 months ago, probably now, there was the flag football players, the guy who play it professionally, whether it's at this level or another level, played against NFL players, including Tom Brady. So there were some ex-NFL players. But the NFL players got their asses kicked. When you go play, flag football isn't the same as the NFL. So you need to send the guys who are actually playing that game to the Olympics. Now you get outside and work at 3 a.m., finishing before 10. Probably a good move. Only 2 funerals. That's a lot of funerals in my world. And, unfortunately, a sad part of getting older is you go to more funerals than you do weddings. I do have to get myself ready for a wedding because I am stepping back behind the pulpit, by the way, and officiating a wedding in September for my best buddy's son and his wife in Amsterdam. I'm excited to do so. Got to get with them soon because you can't just throw these things together. I need some time to work on my it's not a speech. You know what I mean. My words. We knew this would be a political year for committing to the state. I'm not sure I understand. I think I get it. I'm not sure, but I think I get it. Tigers once had a 3-4-5 of Tettleton, Incaviglia, and Rob Deere. Now, that was a born to mash murderers row. Or strike out. Because that group would strike out 600 times a year as well. Those guys were built for the game the way they want it played today. And even then, I suppose. Rob Deere. I would say he was the worst of these 3 guys. But, they were in the majors for quite some time because they could put the ball in the seats. And that's about the time when they were playing. It's about the time we started not caring about strikeouts. We don't care if guys strike out 220 times a year. Jeez, when I was a kid and Bobby Bonds was striking out 150 or 180 times, it was like blasphemy. Good morning, Matt. Good to have you with us. Since Matt's with us, I'm going to pull a random card this morning. See which one we pull. These cards come... Oh, good one. Ben Coates. Ben Coates. Fine. Patriot receiver. Had a few problems. Oh, by the way, stuck to the back of him was John Hanna. Hall of Fame. Best offensive lineman in the history of football. Ben Coates was a great player, but he had some issues off the field, man. If you remember him and Lisa Olson, that was the downfall of the Patriots in the 80s. When the Gillette razor guy, the hell was his name? What the heck was his name? Didn't have a seat. He'd stand up behind us at the games. Anyway, he bought the team, and Ben Coates offended a female reporter in a locker room, and it was a pretty ugly time in New England. Dodger question. Ooh, this is a better one for. This is a better one for Danny, because I do not know that much about DePaul at the moment. I'm going to look him up quick and see what I find. He's an outfield. Listen, I mean, you paid Tucker a lot of money. Tucker's not playing well. Danny, I don't think you can argue with that. Not playing well. He's only playing in Double-A right now, so he's probably not ready for the major leagues. But I think the Dodgers have done a decent job of bringing some guy, mostly pitchers, up from the minors to fill holes. Who else is in that outfield? Currently, who else is in that outfield? Teoscar. Hold on. Let me take a quick look here. And I don't know what AAA looks like, quite frankly. I mean, Danny would probably have a better handle on that than I do. But if I look at their outfielders now, you got Hernandez, you got the other Hernandez, you got Tommy Edman, you got Pages, which, you know, he's been up and down. Who else? Kyle Tucker has not been good, by the way. But the Dodgers keep rolling along. Again, I keep saying I don't think we've seen the best of the Dodgers by any means. I think the Dodgers got another gear, and they already got the best record in baseball. Ugh. If I had my way, Neil, Cashman wouldn't be making deals at the deadline. Got to have a catcher. They don't want to play Rice there. You can't keep one home run. You can't keep a guy. He's hit 150 for 100 plus games. He's improved defensively, but you know, and there's nobody else there that can pick up the slack unless you're going to play Rice at catcher. Now you forfeit defensively. And you're also, then you got to have another first baseman, or maybe you got to play Bellinger at first base against righties, because you can't play Goldschmidt against right-handers. I got better bat speed at 66 years old than he has. So I agree with you. I hope that doesn't fool Brian Cashman. Fallon Sherrick against Detta Hedman. I should probably try to get that on. Hold on 1 second. Who do I want? That's going to put the Yankees over the top. Sylvester Stallone, Lincoln Hawk. No. You need a catcher. Here's two things I would make a move for. Who's a catcher in Minnesota? I'd make an offer for him. They've already talked about Langeliers from the A's. He's a possibility, but again, I don't think the Yankees want to give up, you know, major minor league chips. So they've already talked about Langeliers. So I'm finding a catcher, and I'm getting Jeremy Pena from the Astros. I think the Astros are going to move Pena. I think he's going to go to the Red Sox, or he's going to go to the Yankees. And wherever he goes, it might be a linchpin for the rest of the season. That's what I think. Neil, you can comment on what you want. I think the third base platoon is hitting enough. It's not great, but they do have 18, 19 home runs, so they got some pop out of the third base duo. Good defense. Jazz is playing a little better. You're not going to move Jazz. He's going to play. I'd like another outfielder too, because Dominguez and Spencer Jones are showing to probably be good quadruple A players. But again, this team is flawed. Great pitching, but you can't ask your pitchers to go out there and give up one run every game. So, this team's got to decide whether they're real legitimate contenders or not. They can get to the World Series. The American League stinks. Can you actually win? And at the end of the day, it's about winning. They got to the World Series 3 years ago. That was great. 2 years ago. That was great. I want to win. I don't want to just get there. Ask the Blue Jays about that. Don't fool yourself and mortgage the future for guys that are going to help you for 2 months or not help you at all. Now, a lot of this is going to depend on whether they think Judge can come back or Stanton can come back. But I got a week to figure it out. James Franco series about Kennedy. Good one. Is that the, what's Kennedy? Junior? Matt? I like James Franco, by the way. I don't know if I know that one. We just watched something. Oh, what? Yeah. Based on Stephen King novel. 11/22/63. It was a good series. Great book. The book is better. Read the book. Giving you my recommendations now on TV shows. Watch Hawk. My wife actually enjoyed it. As I'm watching, I'm thinking she cannot be enjoying this. She's not a big Will Ferrell fan anyway. I am. If you like Will Ferrell, you'll like it. Chris is going to keep... Can you keep the smoke up there is all I'm asking you to do. Keep the Canadian crap going. I work with Mitchell Hooper's dad. Mitchell Hooper, worthy of a Google. What? What does he do? Mitchell Hooper? Now Chris wants me to just Google all day because this is exciting. Whoa! Got a huge head. 30 years old, 6'3". He's a kinesiologist like Mike Marshall. So you bring him up just in the sense that he's... I mean, do we think he should be playing something other than competing in World's Strongest Man competitions? By the way, I've watched some of those in my life. You know, tossing tractor tires and kegs of beer. With the Knicks winning the NBA championship, is there any significant pressure in New York for the Yankees, Giants, Yankees and Giants, plus the Jets, Islanders? Sure. I think anytime. Well, look, it's New York City. So there's always pressure. I think there's... Danny gets it with his LA teams. If you're in LA, or you're in Philadelphia, or you're in New York, or you're in Boston, or you're in Chicago, there's always pressure. More pressure than there is in Kansas City, or Denver, or Colorado for the Rockies. But there's all... Listen, the Yankees haven't won anything since 2009. Yeah, there's pressure. Giants haven't won anything since 2012. And they're further away probably than the Yankees. Jets are punting the season. Here's the thing with the Jets, and give me 2 seconds before I think I popped an eyeball on that sneeze, so... It's something about the Jets. The Jets are punting the season. There's little doubt in my mind. Now, they go out and win 2 or 3 games. Don't be firing your coach. I'm not the biggest Aaron Glenn fan in the world. But when you put the coach in a position to fail, you can't fire him. You can't then turn around and fire him. They aren't winning with this team. And the Giants, I think the Giant fans need to just... Danny, this is a different take for me. I think the Giant fans are going to need to be patient with John Harbaugh's new culture. I don't think they're going out there and win this year. They don't have wide receivers. I mean, Neighbors is not starting on the PUP list. That's a good sign, but whether he's playing opening day is still up in the air. I think the offensive line is suspect. The running game is suspect. And Jackson Dart, I like Jackson Dart. They need to keep him in the pocket and keep him healthy. And the Rangers, probably the best thing that happened is James Dolan turned the reins over to his son. So, yeah, there's more pressure for all these teams. I would have to say that for sure, Michael. Better than who? I lost track of who we're talking about. Randall McDaniel's better than who? Oh, John Hanna? Not buying it. Let's see if I can come up with a listing here. Yeah, I was looking at some offensive linemen, right? I put Anthony Munoz ahead of McDaniel. I'd put Larry Allen ahead of McDaniel. I'd put Jonathan Ogden ahead of McDaniel, but I wouldn't put any of them ahead of John Hanna. That's probably my bias, which is fine. I understand that. You have your own. Personally, I'm not sure that. I mean, I don't know if McDaniel cracks the top 10. Orlando Pace, Jim Otto, Bruce Matthews, Mike Webster. But we all have our biases, right? Quite frankly, probably every list I look at will have Hanna between 5 and 10. Thank you, Victor Cayenne. Thank you so much. Remington, my bad. I thought of Gillette because of the name of the stadium now. He did own Remington, and by the way, the guy didn't even have his own seat. We had our season tickets throughout the 80s, and we were by that time we improved our tickets like every year. We were about the 40-yard line halfway up. Metal bleachers, by the way. The old Foxborough Stadium, at the time Sullivan Stadium. I don't know what we were calling it when Victor was there. But he was a disaster. And everybody was happy when he bought the team from the Sullivans. We thought, oh, great. Somebody with money, because the Sullivans had no money. Well, guess what? Victor Cayenne had less money than the Sullivans. And he would stand out in the cold in his leather jacket, like about 10 rows behind us in the aisle. Victor Cayenne. I think I might have blocked that name from my memory, Neil. What best describes an efficient? An efficient what? Now that you mention it, I've done about 27. Oh, officiant. I don't know. I do. I have a couple meetings with them. I want to know whether they want what's important to me. Whether they want it light, whether they want it more religious, less religious. I'm not overly religious myself. I'm a spiritual type person, but we can certainly add some of that for people. Actually, if somebody wanted a really religious wedding, they wouldn't be coming to me anyway. But I meet with them a couple of times and decide they want some humor, more humor, less humor. Give me a little personal anecdote that I can add into my my own words. How long do you want to go? Short, hopefully short, because I don't want to be talking for 30 minutes. And stuff like that. So that makes me efficient, right? I know you meant officiant, but I enjoy doing it. It's fun. I'm looking forward to doing this too. Yeah, I'll have one to kind of go over it, and then I'll go over like my final remarks with them before I actually present them, just to make sure they want to add or delete something. If I've missed something badly or something they absolutely don't want in there that I might have said. So have fun with it. If I had my way, Boone wouldn't be making managerial decisions either. That's correct. Yeah, I got to get off Aaron Boone a little bit. You know, this brings me to another point. Thank you, Danny. Aaron Boone needs to tell this whole Jose Caballero thing and the pitch clock, and they had this. I believe it's a new rule this year that you need to like make eye contact with the pitcher with 8 seconds left on the clock. Who cares? Another silly rule we don't have to have. But anyway, this whole dust up that the umpires and Caballero having, and Boone encourages it, I swear to God, with Caballero. Just tell him to stop. First of all, the rule's stupid. I agree, 100%. But Caballero looks like a little kid out there saying, "You're picking on me, you're picking on me." I do this every time. It's my routine. He should be able to do it, quite frankly. He's in the box. If the pitcher's ready, tell him to throw it. Baseball can't get out of its own way. Just can't. Get an all-star game with 27 strikeouts. That's exciting. Well, there's another. And again, he's an Oiler, so we have some regional bias. Bruce Matthews is the greatest offensive line in history. Only all-pro by his peers at 3 different positions. Fine player. I'll still take John Hanna. He didn't need to play 3 positions. He was too good at one. But again, we're all going to have these regional biases, right? Some guys are going to tell you Larry Little. Some guys will tell you Ogden. Some of the guys will tell you whoever else I brought up. And Bruce Matthews is a fine player. Fine. Wish the Orioles would trade Rushman. Looks like Jeffers from the Twins is favorite. He is probably the favorite. I don't think the Orioles, especially since they've gotten themselves back into reasonable contention here, are going to trade Rushman in the division, Neil. So I think Jeffers would probably be the best fit. Although Hunter Goodman's a guy that I'd want. But the Rockies will hold him hostage. And they'll mismanage him anyway. But he's got a couple years of control left, I think, too. And he's hit 30 home runs this year, hit 3 home runs twice. I don't know how well he plays defensively, quite frankly, but he's not going to get traded, probably. So I think Jeffers will be the guy. I would like Rushman, but they're not going to trade in the division, I don't think. The Dodgers are sellers. For 2 reasons. 3 IL players are coming back in the next 3 weeks. Can these guys, and I don't know which guys you're talking about. Name the 3 guys, would you, so I can give you an opinion on whether you should count on them. Because if we're talking about Snell and Glasnow and what's another guy I'm trying to think of, I don't know if I can count on them to stay healthy. How good is the farm system, though? You've made so many trades the last few years. And quite frankly, I haven't looked at their farm system recently, so you could very well be right. So it'll be interesting. So you take them out of the Scooble sweepstakes. Because when you're talking about a loaded farm system, you're talking about for them, not to trade. I used to be a bad reader. I read a lot now. Fallon, too much for Data. Or Detta at her age. Detta is a great champion and only top British woman outspoken on trans issues that PDC finally changed. They're still cowards like many nowadays. Why would you... I agree. I'm not going to dive into it deep. I know what you're saying here, CA. And it probably doesn't affect a sport like darts, right? But, I mean, it's just nuts. But some people want to die on that hill. It's crazy. Zach Martin's definitely on the O-line list. I'm not putting him to the top, though. John Gonzalez and Jax Penny and the Jets are just terrible. No, they are. They don't want to win this year. I mean, they want to win, don't get me wrong. I think there's no doubt in my mind, and quite frankly, I think getting Geno was a mistake because they don't want to win games, and Geno could win a couple that they may have lost. And I think that team wants to lose 14 or 15 games. They want one of the top quarterbacks this year. And so if that's your plan, you can't fire your coach when you win 3 games or 2 games. There's going to be some bad teams in the NFL this year. Cardinals are going to be awful. Miami's going to be awful. The Jets are going to be awful. Time we got 10-11. Tommy McDonald, 5'9", 84. He's still there? Still alive? Oh, no, he's not alive today. Gotcha. He was a fine player back in the day. Happy heavenly birthday to Tommy McDonald. Good morning, John. Good to have you with us. Haven't seen John in a while. Actually, I had to defend a couple of weeks ago on one of the roundtable shows. I had to defend your boy. This stays with me all the time to remind me not to berate Joe Namath at all. So I watched, oh, John, by the way, because I get like in this this web of YouTube videos, and I came across an entire game of Namath with the Rams, and it just looked weird. Didn't play well either. We do have GQ John Gonzalez in the house. Hello, Donna. I'm glad you enjoyed the pictures, and I can tell you, as I commented every time I posted something, the pictures and my descriptions do not do it justice. It is the most breathtaking scenery I've ever seen. I mean, the cleanest air. We enjoyed ourselves immensely. We had fun whale watching. We had fun on a Yukon train from Yukon to Canada, just a little bit of Canada, back down to Skagway, Alaska. Beautiful, down through the mountains. If you saw, I tried to take some of those pictures that put the train in front of the train up against the mountains. And the shot that I put up leaving Skagway as we turned to go back up the inner passage. What a great exit lane, man. Oh, so cool. Thank you, Donna. We had a lot of fun. And good morning to Danny. Fine player, Kevin Mawa. I think he was in the news for something, I thought. He's in the Jets Ring of Honor, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. Or is he in the Hall of Fame? Is Kevin Mawa in the Hall of Fame? He is. I'll be a son of a gun. Unless I'm reading this article wrong, he's in the Hall of Fame. John's popular this morning. The World Cup was it was not the biggest soccer fan, as anybody who watches my shows knows. But every 4 years when you're rooting for your country, plus you're getting to see the greatest players in the world, I mean, I still don't get some of it. Sorry. Let me take 5 for a second. Just don't go away. There, we're better again. Where was I? There's still things I have a lot of problem with, right? Like, tell me how much extra time is coming up, the flopping, the histrionics after you flop. Some of the gameplay is just boring. I'm sorry. You know, you saw England basically play defense against Argentina and blow a 1-0 lead because they didn't try to be offensive at all. I don't understand some of those strategies, but all in all, it was fun watching Argentina come back game after game after game until the last game. Spain dominating really their entire run. I think they got one goal. So it was fun, and to see some upstarts like Capo Verde, first time ever, and they tied Spain. It was fun. You type too fast. Yeah, we're all that way. That's why Danny speaks into the phone. I don't know. Can we get Mason Miller without giving up one of the top prospects, John? I mean, who do you want to give up to get Mason Miller? I'm not giving up your boy Lombard or Kilby. I don't want to give up. Who do I want? I mean, you're going to have to give up somebody. Elmer Rodriguez, maybe I give up. LaGrange, you're going to. I got to believe you're going to give up Rodriguez or LaGrange, or maybe both. I would trade Spencer Jones. I would trade Dominguez. Not all these guys, right? But if I can put together a package that includes maybe Dominguez and Rodriguez and maybe another iffy prospect, I might do it. But I'm not giving up the farm for Mason Miller. I like Langoliers a lot. I think it'd be Langoliers or Jeffers from the Twins. I think Jeffers might be more likely because he'll be less costly. But again, if they're going to make 3 trades, and I still think they get, I think it's possible Jeremy, who'd I say? Jeremy Pena will be either here or in Boston by next Monday. And it could be a very pivotal acquisition for whichever team gets him. A good one for M. Bolts. I've got a 1986 Don Ross. Who? Rookie. I see Don Ross. Rookie highlight card of Jose Canseco. It's not his rookie card, but it's his rookie year, and talks about what a good rookie he was. Munoz, great player. It's subjective. You'll never talk me off of John Hanna, ever. All the players we've talked about are great players. Really? That must have just, well, you said it just came up. I guess that makes it Jeffers then. Let's take a look here, Neil. Injured in the first. Left a thumb injury. Bad news. Thumb injuries are really bad. He's not starting today. I don't see anything that's saying he might be out for the year, Neil, but I'll take your word for the whoever. Look at thumbs are bad. He's been hot too. Yeah. I didn't see anything about him possibly being out for the year, but again, with a thumb injury, I'm not surprised. 1990 Topps Luis Sojo card. It's worth about 0.2 cents. But you give it to a youngster and tell him it's a rookie card, a 4-time World Series champion. It was ESPN that said that? Great. Oh, yeah, there it is. May miss the rest of tournament. Oh, wait a minute. He's not even talking about his thumb. The hell is this all over here? Ah, that was 3 weeks ago. My bad. Jesus, good grief. So you guys got that information so fast that I couldn't even find news by Googling it. Good job. Torn meniscus. Another blow to the team. Bye-bye. Blow to the Yankees, too. Oh, what we got here? I don't... Listen, I like Hunter Goodman. I'm not sure about his defensive prowess. I mentioned this a minute ago, John. He's obviously got great pop, and he's also controllable, I think, for 2 more years after this one. You see, and another thing that's going to play into this next week of the trade deadline is the labor problems. I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably 100% that there's a lockout in December. 100% chance, 99.9% chance. Problem is, that's not the big problem. There's going to be a work stoppage, and we're going to miss games next year. And I said the last time we almost missed games, I want to say it was, I don't really remember. I want to say it was 2004 or 5. I said if they went out, I was done with baseball. The last time we were close to having real games be missed. Or maybe one of the times. But I think there's a 90% chance we're going to miss regular season games next year. And you are not going to play a full schedule. I'm almost positive. And I don't know how that's going to affect this trade deadline. Because you're not going to trade for somebody and extend them with the CBA up in the air. Like Scooble. So I don't know how this will affect everything. You know, every year, it seems like every year, the last 5, we get a couple of big trades. But we don't get anywhere near the activity I think we're going to get. We get lots of trades, but, you know, there'll be, 50 relievers get traded. Middle relievers. And that's possible too, Danny. Again, you can't rule out the fact that playing in the mile high altitude has been a positive for Goodman. So, I mean, look at Ryan McMahon didn't hit a lot better, but he hit a lot better in Colorado than he hit for the Yankees. Messi told her to say hello. Did you talk to Messi? Were you working security for the World Cup, John? I'm gonna assume you were. Semis now. Bo Graves against Gemma Hatter in a battle of 2 mothers. Interesting stuff. We haven't had any dart talk in a few weeks, a couple months maybe. What's up today? Any new food? I'm trying to get over this cold, so I'm probably having chicken noodle soup and my wife and I last night, I was trying to go to bed about 7 o'clock, and she put on Heroes, which neither one of us had seen. It's on Netflix now. Watched the first episode, and it's got some promise. If anybody, I didn't watch it when it was on NBC, I think it was on. So we're gonna check it out. So probably gonna vegetate one more day. I already canceled my tea time tomorrow because I don't want to play golf. Got to pick up my granddaughter after her 4-year-old granddaughter after her camp day tomorrow because we made plans to go see them. We hadn't seen them since we went away, and Friday night I couldn't go. I was too sick. I didn't want to get anybody sick, so she called me crying on the phone, and I said, "Well, I'll pick you up after camp on Monday. We'll go have something to eat." So today's going to be another rest day. Who do I think will be good in the coming football season? Well, I'll tell you what, Donna. I think Patriots will be good again. Tougher schedule, the record will be worse, but I think the team will be better by the end of the year. I think teams that people want to close the window on, like the Bills and Lions, are going to have very good years. I like the Bengals in the North right now. Again, this could all change. We haven't even training camp just opened. Trying to give you some surprises. I like Denver a lot, and I like the Chiefs to bounce back. The Chiefs had a great offseason. Mahomes seems to be ahead of schedule on his recovery. Walker, an improved offensive line. If the wide receivers, stay out of jail, I think the Chiefs will come back. I like the Cowboys to win the East. I think every team in the NFC North will be over 500. I like the Saints to win the South. And the Rams and Seahawks will battle it out in the West. Yeah, the 49ers, I think, are going to take a step back. And I'm really confused. And I don't know about anybody else. I'm not saying there's anything to it. But I don't understand how Kyle Shanahan had an accident on the 14th. And we just found out about it yesterday. It seems a little odd. And I'm not saying anything nefarious is going on. Tony Romo gets a DWI. I find out the same day. It seems odd to me. So I don't know whether his injuries are worse than what they're saying. The Post reported this. The headline was, it's the New York Post. Kyle Shanahan suffers horrific injuries. Well, his injuries were bad. Broken nose, broken ribs, and some other stuff. But horrific to me is, he lost a couple of limbs. So we'll be talking more NFL, but, that's just a couple of, and we can talk some more in the next, half hour or so about the NFL if you want. Donna, throw some stuff out there. Who do you like this year? I got to tell you, I can never remember, Donna, if you're a Eagle fan or a Pittsburgh fan. I don't remember why I don't remember this. I don't think the Steelers make the playoffs. I think Aaron Rodgers' going away tour will not be that much fun for him. To get Miller, you'd give up any prospect except Lombard. You'd give up Kilby. I'm hearing as good or better things about Kilby in the long run than Lombard. Lombard's hurt now, right? And I don't think they're going to bring. I thought they'd bring up Lombard in August. Next year, I can see Lombard being a shortstop and Volpe getting a shot at second base because Jazz needs to get out of here. Don't mention. Listen, I don't know that much. I don't know the game that well, Michael. But so I'm on a cruise ship in Alaska with a lot of UK fans, a lot of them. And they were all excited. And I was playing a poker tournament. So the very last part of this game I didn't see because I was playing in a Texas Hold'em tournament. But right there by the bar where the TVs were. And these people were just like all up in arms because from what I saw, and again, I watched all of the regulation play until just before Argentina went ahead 2-1. I saw it right up until then. But every bit as I saw, I must have seen, I don't know, in the second half, I want to say all but like 2 minutes of the game was played in Argentina's end. And at one time, England was down there, they scored a goal. Now you try to sit on that? I don't understand that kind of strategy. And it turns me off for soccer in the first place. One of the things it does. And I know it's big for you. And again, I'm not a huge fan, but I don't get it. I'm sure that was hurtful. You don't mean John Goodman? I'm not trading for John Goodman to play catcher. I'm not telling you right now. Hunter Goodman, I'll trade for. So, Hunter Goodman's stats are better on the road? Hunter Goodman splits. Let's see. At home, he's got 13 homers, 24 RBIs. He's hitting 233, 850 in OPS. On the road, well, how come we don't get the rest? Why don't they show me his road stats? All right, I guess I got to do math. Oh, wait, right there. 1836, 283. That's very interesting. Good catch, Danny. Throw that argument out the window then. Good job. I still don't want John Goodman. I'll take Hunter Goodman. Side note, Bo is the Luke Littler of darts. Who? Bo. Oh, Bo. He does strike out a lot. But yeah, he's built for Yankee Stadium, I would think. Without seeing, whether he pulls the ball. I'm not pulling up information here that shows me where his home runs have been deposited. Or am I? So Miller, we're giving up prospects for, right? John, Neil, are we giving up a top prospect? One of the pitchers I mentioned. I'd probably give up Dominguez for Goodman. I'm ready to say Dominguez is a really good quadruple A player. I don't know if I'm ready to go there with Spencer Jones yet or not, because this is his first shot. He hasn't played tremendously well. But we've seen enough of Dominguez now to maybe know that he can't play here, at least. So I'm okay giving up him in this Miller deal or the Goodman deal. You might need to get him to get any catcher. Lots of people here are miffed over defensive tactics and also Argentina's bully boy tactics, which worked. I'm not sure I understand the bully boy tactics, but I'm going to take your word for it. We were given retribution, though, when they lost the final to Spain. So apparently you're not a Messi or an Argentina fan. I mean, you can explain the bully boy comments. I don't really listen. I watch guys fall down for no reason, and then they fall down. And you can tell me I'm wrong, Michael. But the histrionics that they go through when they're down, it looks like they need to be put down while they're on the field, right? Euthanasia. And then 2 minutes later, they're up running around scoring a goal. And that's everybody. So I don't know about the bully boy stuff. I mean, what I saw didn't seem like it, but again, I don't know what to be looking for, I guess, probably. Here's how I see the Miller trade to the Yankees going down. Warren Rodriguez, that's a lot. Warren, Rodriguez, LaGrange, and Dietz for Miller. Yeah, they're going to have to take a bad contract. If I got to take a bad contract, wouldn't you? Bogarts you could at least try to play at shortstop, I guess. Wouldn't you rather take Manny's contract if you had to take a contract, though? They are going to have to take a bad contract. Whoever gets Miller, whether it's the Yankees or somebody else, will have to take Bogarts or Machado. That's a great point, John. Now, again, I think I'm okay with the platoon right now at third base. Got a little pop, playing good defense. May not get that much more out of Machado anyway in Yankee Stadium. Now, you take Bogart's contract, are you going to play him? That's the question. He's been playing second base, or has he been playing shortstop? Where's he been playing? Depth chart. Okay, he's playing shortstop, so he might get what's he doing? 227. Wow. Oh, that's away. What's his overall? 938, 218. Man, he's playing bad. What's Manny doing now? Manny got off to a horrendous start. I mean, how the Padres even won as many games as they won? Manny's even worse. Oh, he's got 22 homers, 60 RBIs, 207. I don't know. He doesn't have to go above and beyond, just follow the classic formula of know your role. Who are we talking about, Chris? I'm not sure who we're talking about there. I think I'm starting to fall behind. A little bit. Langeliers will be a free agent. Yankees can sign him then for a lower price due to his injury. Good call. I like that. Yeah, it's 100%. I agree. If we lose games, I'm going to be sick to my stomach. Millionaires against billionaires. $24/7. Oh, you work for FIFA during it. 1099. Independent contractor were you, or did they hire you? Are you gonna be leaving the country? Just kidding. In 2020, with the shortened season, it created tournament mode. Anyone could win. That was a fun. No, it wasn't fun. 60-game season. That's what we think. That's fun. Come on, Chris. You're better. You're a better baseball fan than that. You can't strike. You can't cost me a full baseball season and expect me to say that's going to be fun. You're better than that. You'll go to the highest bidder. But with lockout looming, it's going to be interesting to say the least. I agree. I mean, again, well, Miller, he's got a contract, right? So anybody who doesn't have a contract, it's going to be very interesting to see what teams are willing to give up. You trade for Skubal, you're not going to like agree to any kind of terms with it. He's going to hit free agency anyway. The free agents market this year, this is not a good year to be a free agent. A very bad year. Or maybe it's good because maybe you can sign guys early. You may see a bunch of guys. That's a great, actually, it's a great point that I just thought of in my head. Maybe there'll be a lot of free agents that sign right after the season in November, before the lockout. Because afterwards, when this is all settled, if the owners get anything close to what they want, you're not going to be able to sign 10 and 12-year deals. You're not going to be able to sign $500 million deals. You're not going to be able to defer money. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying that's going to be the case if the owners get anything close to what they want. So maybe it'll be a run on the really good free agents early. Yeah, I'm guessing no. Well, Bronny's got a new contract with the Lakers, so he's not going to Philadelphia unless the Lakers cut him. Because I don't think the Sixers are trading for him. Yeah, it's August. Oh, it's July. John's predictions are seldom wrong. Well, I don't keep track of them enough, John. You're probably right. Probably right. I will tell you when mine are wrong. Eagles and Bears. Oh, that's right. Eagles and Bears. I remember now. I think the Cowboys are going to win that division. That's why I think she's talking about my predictions, John. I think the Cowboys are loaded for bear. Why are you sad? Donna, tell me why you're sad LeBron's a Sixer. You don't want to win? You can not like LeBron, the person, but LeBron, the basketball player, makes you a better basketball team. I'm not sure why you would be upset. Spoken like a true Patriots fan. Information comes out later on other teams. We want news on the past the daily. I figured that out. Which 10 teams have the best roster entering the season? Patriots, Ravens, Cowboys, Chiefs, Broncos, Lions. See, I'm not big on the Texans at all this year. Seahawks, according to Google search results. That's fair. Without doing a lot of checking, I think that's fair. I like the Rams roster. I mean, I don't know how the Rams aren't in that list, actually. Even though I berated the Rams for their pick with the 13th slot in the first round, which helps them not at all the next 2 years, while they do have a starting quarterback who's looking to take them to the Super Bowl. When they do nothing with that pick to help them this year, they've still got they've got to have one of the best rosters. They have the best defensive roster in football, and that's before Aaron Donald potentially comes back. So I don't know how they leave them off this list. First time John saw Mason Miller, he was pitching with the A's in Yankee Stadium. He struck out the side with ease. I said to myself, it's a return of Goose Gossage. Well, John, until they bring him in the 6th inning, he's not Goose Gossage. I can tell you that right now. None of these guys who relieved today are in the class of Goose Gossage or Raleigh Fingers or Sparky Lyle. These guys who would come in when the game was on the line with men on base. These guys are great pitchers. But, even Mo, was handled a lot differently than Gossage. Sparky'd pitch 5 innings in a game sometimes. So would Gossage. No Lombard in any deal. I agree. Other than that, I'm open to Jones or Dominguez or Rodriguez. I don't know that I want to trade LaGrange either, by the way. I might put LaGrange up there with Lombard. But everybody else, doable. I mean, Jones and Dominguez, I'm just afraid they're nothing more than quadruple A players. They're too good for triple A and not good enough for the major leagues. At least not here. And again, you can't be afraid. I'll come back to you in a minute, Donna. You can't be afraid of moving guys for what they will do. Remember what the Yankees did with Gary Sanchez? Because they were afraid what would happen when they trade him. If he blew up and played great, they'd look bad. Well, he wasn't playing great here, and that's all that mattered. And it's the same way with Jones. It's the same way with Dominguez. It's the same way with anybody who doesn't play well here, because it's hard to play here. So you can't go into trade talks afraid what a guy's going to do when he gets to someplace new. I hope Dominguez and Jones go to a new team and light it up. I prefer they did it here, but it doesn't look like they will. It is kind of strange, but the World Cup was fun. Bows to the final, but they play fast. Bully Boy Tanks is they're pushing and shoving and ribbing and your face with a lot of play unfair, nothing to do with fair soccer, designed to stop us playing. And it's been expansive. That's fair. I mean, it's a physical game, isn't it? I don't know, Michael. Miller's under control. He just signed a new contract. He is desirable contract-wise, for sure. And that's why you'd probably be willing to give up more collateral to get him, because you can control him for 4 years. For $4 million? It's a potential lockout. Is a potential lockout Major League Baseball owners? The lockout is the owners. If they strike, that's the players. No, they're both to blame. So the collective bargaining agreement is expiring at the end of this season. The owners have proposed several things. 200. I don't have all the numbers in front of me right now. 260-ish, 270-ish cap total salary, and a floor of 173, which are 16 teams below right now, by the way. But that's not the worst of it for the players. They've also proposed a cap on number of years somebody can sign and how much they can sign for. You can sign your own players for more. You can sign free agents. Sorry. You can sign free agents for less. Players are never going to go for this. And again, we've let it get to this point. And I'm all for free. Hang on one second. I'm back. I'm all for free trade. I'm all for free market. You know, the market dictates what somebody's worth. The owners created the monster themselves. Now they want to break the union. Players are never going to go for this. And neither side is budging right now. They're so far apart. I mean, they're probably further apart than they were in 1981. Or 1994 when we lost, or 94 when we lost the World Series. So the owners created the mess, and the owners now want a cap. Not just a total cap, but an individual cap on what players can earn and how many years they can sign for. There's a lot of variables to it, Michael. You can take your own players and you can sign them for, if they're in their first year, you can sign them for 12 years, and the second you can sign them for 11 and for X amount of money. There's a lot of details. We'll talk more about it as we get closer to December, but it is not going to be pretty. And if you're old like me and you lived through 1972 when we had an odd number of games being played, not every team played the same number of games. The Red Sox lost out getting to the playoffs by half a game because they played one game less than the Tigers. 1981, we lost, 60 games to a strike. 1994, we lost a World Series. Yankees were the best team. Yankees and Expos were the best teams in baseball. And that strike probably cost Montreal a baseball team. As a fan, I'm sick of this. Millionaires fighting billionaires. Billionaires fighting billionaires in some case. You just don't like LeBron? It's fair. He gives you a much better chance of winning a championship, though. Yeah, that's the only thing it did? It doesn't give the 76ers a better chance to win, Neil? Come on. LeBron is still arguably around the top 10 in the league. Maybe just a little bit outside it. He's still a great player. He showed last year with the Lakers at the last third of the season that he can take a step back and be still an important cog, but he doesn't have to be the guy. Now, people, they mix up their feelings on LeBron with the LeBron off the field or the court and LeBron on the court. You can dislike LeBron for what he does with this decision and other decisions. He's not going there. This isn't like Durant going to Golden State when they'd already won championships with the core that they had, and he just tagged along. Sixers haven't won in 40 years, 43 years. Why wouldn't you want every chance you have to win? He's going to be the third option there. Maybe fourth. With that said, unless Embiid stays healthy, it really doesn't matter. I like the Knicks' chances, but the Sixers could be pretty deep. I'm starting to run out of steam, as you can see. Let me get through the rest of these comments. Okay, Donna, have a great day, and we'll talk more about LeBron and the Sixers. I always find myself defending LeBron. The player. I'm not defending LeBron, anything else that he does. I said the other day, this whole, free agency tour, I think he knew where he wanted to go before. And I don't see any reason that LeBron wants to stick it to Pat Riley. Giants are doing training camp in West Virginia because of the World Cup. Really? They couldn't find any place closer than West Virginia? What's wrong with Albany? They came to Albany for like 10 years. Whatever. Yes, have a good day, Donna. He keeps what's with Boston and Pittsburgh versus Pittsburgh. What's with the Boston versus Pittsburgh hate? Does the history go beyond just sports? I have no idea. There has been some interesting interactions here. But I have no answer. Maybe somebody else does, CA, but I don't have any answer. They played in the World Series in like 1912, but I will be back with the College Football Huddle on August 5th. Mark it on your calendar. Now, one caveat to that specific night. I'm having a colonoscopy the next day, so I'll be doing my prep, and we could have a interesting show that night. But we're back on August 5th and in full speed ahead with the College Football Huddle. So please join us, Michael. But my point is they don't do the same thing. It's hard for me, and John, he's a great reliever. But I have a hard time comparing him to Fingers and Gossage specifically because they don't pitch the same way those guys did. Those guys would come in the fifth inning, sixth inning, seventh inning. They come in with the bases loaded. Nobody today wants to come in with the bases loaded. Rarely, once in a while they do. But they all want to start an inning. Well, that makes the job a lot easier, right? So I'm not knocking Mason Miller at all. But I'm not putting him in the class of Gossage and Fingers. Because I can't compare those eras. The job is much different today, and it has been for 30 years. Thank you, Tony La Russa. So again, he's a good player. I'm really not knocking him. I'm just not going to say you give me two guys. If you gave me two guys to have at the back end of my bullpen, I'll take Goose Gossage every time. Fallon. Blazing. Mets have everyone on the trading block except for Soto, McLean, Benj, and Ewing. I don't know if they'll trade any of the kids like Scott and Thornton either. I think they got some decent pitchers, young guys, but you're right. I mean, they should trade. I like all those guys, but I think I'd add two pitchers to that list. I like Scott and Thornton a little bit too. Until last week, and I doubt it now because the Blue Jays have really fallen on hard times, but they were talking about bringing Bichette back to Toronto. Fallon prepared well for today. I have a chance to win it all if Bo allows the opportunities. Cool. So anyway, how did I lose my banner? Did I ever put it up? No, anyway. Oh, I got out of timer. That's why. That's why. Anyway, put it back up. There we go. So we got a few minutes left if anybody's got any final comment. Miller can pitch 3 innings if he was... They don't ask him. I didn't say it was... John, don't miss... I didn't say it was his fault. It's the way we use pitchers today. I'd still take Gossage. I'm an old guy. Well, you're an old guy. No, not as old as me, I don't think. But just personal preference. Jesus, you remember Sparky coming in the 76 playoffs and pitching like 5 and a third innings to beat the Royals? You think that would happen with Mason Miller or anybody else? I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming Major League Baseball and the people that are in charge of pitchers. You know how I feel about the way they've ruined pitchers. And the use of relief pitchers started with Tony La Russa and Eckersley. 1 inning. Weaver could find his way back to the Bronx. Weaver's pitched well. Got off to a bad start this year, but he's pitched well after that. I like Weaver a lot. And I think the Yankees could use him as well. I'm not... Well, again, I'm all for getting Miller because I'm not sold on Bednar. But if you could bring in Miller and find a way to get Weaver cheap, I don't know if the Mets want to trade with the Yankees, but Clay Holmes is going to be available as well. He's hurt. He's been hurt. Mets have some guys that teams would want. They're definitely a seller, right? So there's some guys there that some of these teams in a pennant race, some teams that are fooling themselves, would want. I'd like to see Weaver find his way back to the Bronx. Because if I have Miller, Bednar, and Weaver for the 7th, 8th, and not in that order, it'd probably be Weaver, Bednar, or whatever order you want to put Bednar and Weaver in. And Miller, that's pretty good. So anyway, guys, tomorrow we'll be live with Jack and Keith's Weekend Playbook. One more week, we'll be on hiatus with the College Football Huddle, so we won't have it yet on Wednesday, but we'll be on the McGrath Wednesday night, the Unprofessional Professional Sports Show, and we'll be back hopefully with Friday with the Jack and Keith Show and also the MLB update, which we haven't done in a couple weeks because I've been under the weather. But I appreciate all you guys coming in. You have no idea how much I appreciate you guys coming in and participating. You guys are a big part of you're the biggest part of what makes this show go. So thank you so much. You guys have a great Sunday. I'm going to go rest my weary voice and whatever else, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.